Hey everyone, so today I'm going to show you how to overseed an existing Kentucky Bluegrass lawn with new cultivars of Kentucky Bluegrass. Earlier in the season I made a video about Kentucky Bluegrass versus perennial ryegrass, and you can check that out right up there. So I just picked up this bag of SS 1100 from Seed Superstore. It's a Kentucky Bluegrass blend of Midnight, Mazama, and Bluebank. It's a 5-pound bag, and the overseeding rate calls for 1 to 2 pounds per 1,000. And since I have 2,000 square feet in the front yard, I'm going to be putting down 4 pounds on that front lawn because I want to do a heavy overseed and make sure I'm getting as much of that seed in there as possible. Now, before I begin the overseed process, I'm going to be looking for the right window to get this done. You want soil temperatures that are going to be about 70 degrees and declining. And you also want to make sure that you're not going to be doing this when the temperatures are going to be in the upper 80s, low 90s, because the new seedlings are going to have a really hard time in that heat and humidity. You also don't want a window where it's going to be raining, because that leads to potential washouts, and then you're going to have to reseed that whole lawn again, and it's going to be costly and frustrating. With that being said, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take this bottle of plant growth regulator and I'm going to put down 1.2 ounces of the plant growth regulator on that Kentucky Bluegrass. The reason I'm doing this a week beforehand is because I want to slow that grass down. I don't want it over competing with the new seedlings. I want to give them the best chance that they can have to survive. Okay, so we got our plant growth regulator mixed up in the tank, and now we're going to go apply it to the bluegrass. Okay, so it's been about 4 days since we applied the plant growth regulator, and that should slow this grass down. What we're going to do now is we're going to scalp it down as low as we can get it, around 1/4 of an inch. That way, when the new grass seed germinates, it's not going to be overshadowed by the existing turf, and the existing turf isn't going to grow too fast and block out the sun on our new seedlings. Well, we just finished scalping the lawn down to 1/4 of an inch, so now it's ready to be scarified. I just put the Swardman scarifier in the machine. It's a great tool, probably the best feature of this Swardman, to be honest with you. Really nice feature to have. If you don't have a Swardman scarifier, what you can use is one of the dethatch rakes, and that works just as fine, except that you're going to be working your tail off because it's a lot of work raking out all this dead thatch. This machine, fortunately, will do it for you, and it does a really nice job. What we're going to do is get rid of all the thatch layer that's built up over the season, and we're going to get rid of it so when we put our seed down, it's going to be able to get a nice seed to soil contact, because that's what we're really looking for. That's what's going to promote the germination. So let's go ahead and scarify the lawn and get rid of that thatch. All right, so today's the big day. We're going to be putting the Kentucky Bluegrass down over our existing Kentucky Bluegrass lawn. Again, we got our SS 1100 blend of Kentucky Bluegrass from Seed Superstore. I am not affiliated with Seed Superstore. I just buy their seed because it seems to be pretty good. I had good success with their perennial ryegrass in the back. So we're gonna add some better cultivars to our existing Kentucky Bluegrass. So our seeding rate is calling for 2 pounds per 1,000 square feet. And we got 2,000 square feet here. So we're gonna do 4 pounds on this Kentucky Bluegrass. We're gonna weigh this out on a scale, and then we're gonna put it in this spreader, which is probably the worst spreader ever made, because this is that edge guard and it gets caught in the wheels. What I should do is just throw this away and get a new one, but it's what I got, so that's what we're gonna work with today. All right, we just put the seed down, we spread it out once in each direction, and now we gotta take our lawn roller right here and we're gonna roll it into the soil. We wanna make sure we have good seed to soil contact so we can get proper germination. Okay, so we just finished rolling the lawn, and as you can see, we were able to get that seed pressed into that soil. So now it's set for germination. All we're gonna have to do now is put on our starter fertilizer and then cover it up with some peat moss and straw, and it should be ready to go. Okay, so I picked up this bag of Scott's starter fertilizer. This has mesotrione in it as well, which is the same active ingredient as the tenacity. So that's gonna prevent weeds from coming up, and it's also gonna stop some of the crabgrass that we might get as our springtime pre-emergent wears off. So this bag calls for 4 pounds per 1,000. So we're gonna put down 8 pounds on this 2,000 square foot lawn. All right, here we go. We got that starter fertilizer down. And now we're gonna do the absolute worst job in lawn care, and that is spread peat moss. If you're smart, you bought a peat moss spreader. I'm not smart, so I don't have one of those, and I'm gonna have to do this by hand, unfortunately. Maybe next year I'll make that investment, but for right now, we're just gonna have to do it by our hands. We gotta put something on the seed that's gonna keep it moist, and that's what this peat moss is gonna do. After we spread the peat moss around, we're gonna put some easy straw down. That's gonna keep everything in place. We're supposed to be getting a little rain, so that's why I'm putting the straw down. I wanna make sure that nothing gets washed away, and I've had good success with that easy straw before. We just got the peat moss and we got the easy straw down. While I was out there putting that down, it started raining on me and I could feel the glue of that easy straw on my hands. So what that means, it's gonna stick to the grass and hold everything in place if I do get a lot of rain. I'm not anticipating a lot of rain, but I'm supposed to get some. So I'm hoping that this is gonna hold it in there and I'm not gonna have any washouts. Now I know I said I was gonna wait for a window where it was gonna be dry, but I just don't have the time to wait anymore. Life is so busy with kids and work and everything that I had to do it today. Otherwise I was never gonna get this done. So I'm taking a little bit of a chance, but I'm hoping that the easy straw is gonna hold everything together. That's why I put this down. Normally I would just put the peat moss down, but I can't really risk having a washout because then I'm gonna lose the whole season. So right now I just dragged out the hoses and I'm getting those set up. And now we're just gonna go and set the timer. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna water this every 3 hours, and I'm gonna start at 10 a.m. This is the Orbit 2-zone timer. It doesn't have very good reviews online, but I have the single one, and that one works very well. And I've already tried this a couple of times, and it seems to work fine. So hopefully it doesn't fall apart on me like some of the other reviewers say. So we'll see what happens. I'm hoping that it's only going to take about a week or so for that Kentucky Bluegrass to start germinating. But once that happens, I'm going to show you, and then we're going to have a little celebration because I'm going to be pumped.